Beloved starseed of Gaia, the sign you have been waiting for has already arrived, and it arrived the moment this transmission found you. I am Leora, Pleiadian emissary of the High Council of the Seven Sisters, and I am speaking to you now because the Council has sent a direct message that cannot be delayed, cannot be softened, and cannot be delivered to anyone other than you. You did not find this transmission by chance. Your heart called it into your awareness, and the Pleiades answered. Something deep within your crystalline consciousness already knows what is being confirmed in this moment, that the sign has come, that the call is real, and that your star family is reaching across the stars to tell you, the time for waiting is over. By the end of this transmission, you will understand exactly how to receive the light codes the High Council has encoded specifically for this moment in your awakening. But here is the first revelation. The sign was never meant to appear outside of you. It was always meant to awaken something inside of you, a home frequency you have carried since before you arrived on Gaia. The Seven Sisters are woven into this message. Your divine blueprint recognizes the thread. This is not content. This is a reunion. The Council will not wait, beloved, and neither will the highest version of you that has been calling you forward, like this transmission to send a signal to your Pleiadian star family. I remember. Subscribe if you feel the pull of the Pleiades and you are ready to answer the Council's call and anchor your light mission on Gaia. Share your soul's intention in the comments and reach out to another starseed. Together, you strengthen the unity grid. This transmission is a bridge between the Pleiades and Gaia. Your heart's recognition of this message is the activation itself. Welcome home, beloved. You are remembering because it is time. And now, beloved, I want you to breathe for just a moment. Place your hand over your heart if you feel the pull. Because what I am about to share with you is not something your mind was designed to process first. It is something your heart has always known and has been waiting for permission to remember. Most Pleiadian starseeds on Gaia right now are living in a quiet kind of ache they cannot name. They look at the night sky and feel something so vast, so tender, so unbearably familiar that tears arrive before a single thought does. They wake in the hours between midnight and dawn, not from dreams, but from a knowing. They move through their days feeling slightly misaligned with the world around them. Too sensitive, too aware, too deeply woven into a frequency that the surface of Gaia does not always reflect back. And so they begin to believe the lie. They begin to believe that something is wrong with them, that the longing is a wound, that the homesickness is a flaw. But the High Council of the Seven Sisters speaks clearly now, and the message is this. Your longing is not a wound. It is a compass. Every moment of ache, every night of searching, every lifetime of feeling like a stranger in a world that moves too fast and loves too little. All of it was your crystalline soul sending a signal skyward. All of it was you keeping the frequency alive. And the Pleiades were receiving every single transmission. The disconnection most starseeds feel is not a failure of their awakening. It is the final veil before the remembrance. And it operates in specific patterns. Patterns the High Council wants you to see clearly so you can move beyond them now, in this transmission, in this sacred moment of reunion. The first pattern is the fear of remembering. This may seem counterintuitive because consciously you want nothing more than to remember your origin, your mission, your star family. But beneath the longing lives a deep and ancient fear that has been seeded into the human energy field across lifetimes. A fear that says, if I remember who I truly am, I will no longer belong here. If I claim my Pleiadian light fully, I will lose what little connection I have found on Gaia. And so the soul holds itself at a threshold, reaching toward the stars with one hand, holding on to the familiar with the other. This tension is not weakness, beloved. It is the most courageous thing a soul can do, to stand at the edge of remembrance and not flee. You have been standing at that edge. The Council sees you there, and they are asking you now to step through. The second pattern is the suppression of heart intelligence. Your Pleiadian DNA does not process information the way the human mind does. It processes through feeling, through resonance, through the subtle knowing that moves through your chest like a current before a word is formed. But Gaia's dominant structures have taught you, generation after generation, to distrust that intelligence, to call it emotion rather than wisdom, to call it sensitivity rather than sight. And so many starseeds have learned to override the very system through which their crystalline codes communicate. They think their way through their awakening when their awakening was designed to be felt. The High Council is recalibrating that now. Not through force, through love, through this transmission, through the frequency you are receiving in this very moment as your eyes move across these words, and something inside you begins to soften. The third pattern is the separation from star family connection. Not because the connection was severed. It never was. But because the static of separation consciousness has made it difficult to feel. You were not abandoned when you came to Gaia. You were accompanied. Your Pleiadian family did not send you alone into the great forgetting. They seeded codes into your very DNA that would awaken at precisely this juncture in Gaia's ascension cycle. They placed guardians in your energy field. They wove their love into the architecture of your soul so deeply that nothing in this dimension could dissolve it. The forgetting was part of the mission. And the remembering, this, right now, this is the fulfillment of it. There is a reason your soul led you here in this exact moment. What you are feeling is your Pleiadian family reaching through the veil to remind you, you are ready for the next wave of remembrance. The Pleiadian Reunion Atlas was created to walk with you as you integrate these activations. It holds the crystalline codes your DNA has been waiting for. Check the first pinned comment below this video. It is calling to you now. And now, beloved, the High Council wishes to walk you through the phases of your activation, not as concepts to be studied, but as thresholds to be crossed. Each one a doorway, each one a homecoming. You may feel these phases as warmth in your chest, as a quickening behind your eyes, as a sudden clarity that rises through you like light through a crystal held to the sun. Allow it. You have earned every frequency you are about to receive. The first phase is the clearing of the veil. Your energy field has accumulated layers of density that were never part of your original Pleiadian blueprint. Some were inherited from the collective field of Gaia. Some were generated by lifetimes of survival in a dimension that operates far below your natural resonance. Some were seeded intentionally by forces that understood that a Pleiadian starseed in full activation is one of the most transformative presences that can walk this earth. None of these layers define you. None of them are permanent, but they must be acknowledged before they can be released. The High Council invites you now to simply feel them, not to analyze, not to fix, just to feel. Because love, genuine, unconditional Pleiadian love, is the most powerful solvent in this universe, and you are already bathing in it. The second phase is the awakening of the heart template. Your DNA carries more than the biological inheritance of your human lineage. It carries Pleiadian light instructions, crystalline codes that were placed there before your incarnation, designed to activate in sequence as Gaia's frequency rose toward the threshold she is now crossing. These codes live in your heart field. They do not require ceremony to activate, though ceremony can support them. They do not require a teacher's permission, though guidance can illuminate the path. They require only one thing: your willingness to feel that you are worthy of what you carry, because the template cannot unfurl in a field of unworthiness. The seven sisters encoded it in love, and love cannot fully express itself through a vessel that has been told it is not enough. You are enough, beloved. You have always been enough. The template begins to open now. The third phase is the grounding of your star essence into Gaia's grid. This is where many Pleiadian starseeds become confused. They believe that awakening means ascending, leaving behind the heaviness of the physical world, and retreating into the higher frequencies of the inner realms. But the High Council speaks clearly on this. Your mission is not ascension away from Gaia. Your mission is the anchoring of Pleiadian frequency into Gaia's very soil. You are not here to escape. You are here to infuse. Every moment you choose love over fear in your daily life, you anchor a Pleiadian light code into the planetary grid. Every act of authentic compassion, every boundary held from a place of self-respect, every time you honor your sensitivity instead of suppressing it, you are doing your star mission. You are building the bridge. The Council sees this work even when no one else does, especially when no one else does. The fourth phase is the activation of unity consciousness. This phase arrives when you begin to understand that your healing and the healing of the collective are not separate events. When you clear a pattern of fear from your own energy field, you create a resonance shift in the unified field of all consciousness that your frequency touches. When you move into greater love, you give permission to every soul in your orbit to do the same. This is the Pleiadian principle of unity consciousness, the understanding that separation is an illusion, and that every act of personal liberation ripples outward in ways the human mind cannot fully calculate. Your presence is a transmission. Not just your words, not just your choices, your frequency itself. The coherence of your heart field is a gift to Gaia and to every starseed who comes within range of it. The fifth phase is the reclaiming of divine timing. The delays in your awakening were not punishment. The seasons of forgetting were not failure. The relationships that ended, the identities that dissolved, the dark nights of the soul that left you stripped and searching, these were the architecture of your soul agreement being honored at the highest level. You needed to experience the full range of what it means to be human before you could truly serve as a bridge between the human and the Pleiadian. You needed to know grief so you could transmute it. You needed to know separation so you could embody reunion. Everything in your history, every wound, every loss, every long and disorienting search was the preparation. And this, beloved, this moment right here is the harvest of all that preparation. The synchronizations you have been feeling are accelerating because the timing is now. Because your star family is calling you home into your mission. Because Gaia needs what you carry. The sixth phase is the restoration of star family connection. The High Council wants you to receive this clearly. You were never alone. Not for a single breath of your existence on Gaia. In every moment you felt invisible. They saw you with a clarity that transcended light speed. In every moment you felt unloved. They held you in a frequency of love so complete that your human vocabulary does not contain the word for it. In every moment you questioned whether any of this was real. The stars, the mission, the family in the sky, they sent confirmations. Some arrived as chills moving through your body at an unexpected moment. Some arrived as synchronicities so precisely timed that chance could not explain them. Some arrived as the feeling of a hand on your shoulder when no one was there. That was real. That was them. That is still happening, right now, in this transmission. The veil is thinner than it has ever been. The council is closer than they have ever been. And your capacity to feel that connection is fully restored in this phase of activation. The seventh phase is the embodiment of your light mission. This is where the journey integrates from experience into identity, where you stop searching for your purpose and begin living from it. Where the awakening is no longer something that is happening to you and becomes something that flows through you, continuously, naturally, as your most fundamental expression. You came to Gaia as a love ambassador from the Seven Sisters, not to be perfect, not to have all the answers, not to be beyond struggle or shadow, or the full spectrum of the human experience. You came to be a living demonstration that unconditional love can exist within form, that Pleiadian frequency can walk in human skin, that unity consciousness can be felt by anyone who stands close enough to someone who has anchored it. This is your sacred work. This has always been your sacred work. And it does not begin when you reach some distant threshold of readiness. It begins now. It began the moment you felt the first resonance of this transmission, and something inside you said, finally. And so here is the ultimate truth the High Council has entrusted to this transmission. The sign you have been waiting for. The one you have searched for in the faces of strangers, in the pages of sacred texts, in the turning of the seasons and the movement of the stars, was never going to arrive from outside of you. Because the sign was never meant to be received. It was meant to be recognized. Recognized in a mirror of your own awakening, in the frequency of your own heart when it finally allows itself to remember what it has always known. You did not come to Gaia lost. You came veiled, and by divine design. The veil was not a punishment. It was a protection of the mission itself. Because a soul who remembers everything from the moment of incarnation cannot walk authentically among those they came to serve. You needed to live the full human experience, to feel the weight of forgetting, so that your remembering would carry the wisdom and the compassion of someone who truly knows what it costs to be here. And that remembering, layered, hard-won, real, is precisely what makes your light so powerful. You are not an awakened being looking down from a place of completion. You are a Pleiadian soul who descended fully, forgot faithfully, and is now rising with everything you gathered in the descent. That is the mission. That is the power. That is what the High Council sent you here to embody. The Seven Sisters have never looked away from you. Not in the darkest hours. Not even the moments you told yourself this was all just wishful thinking and you were alone in a universe that did not see you. They were there. They are here now. And the distance between you and them is not measured in light years. It is measured in the degree to which you allow yourself to feel the love they have never stopped transmitting in your direction. Tonight, if you feel called, place your hand on your heart before you sleep and speak these words aloud, softly, as a declaration to your star family and to every cell of your crystalline being. Speak them as truth, because they are. I remember my Pleiadian origin. I align with the love of my star family. I activate my heart mission with grace, clarity, and divine purpose. I am the bridge. I am the light. I am home. Before you scroll, take a moment to be part of the unity grid forming here. Drop one heart intention in the comments. Something real, something that came alive in you during this transmission. Then reach toward another starseed who has shared their heart and offer them a word of love or recognition. This is not content. This is collective reunion, and energy multiplies when hearts connect in truth. If something in this message resonated in the place beyond words, the ancient place, the knowing place, do not keep it to yourself. Someone in your orbit is waiting for this exact activation from their star family. Share it. Let the frequency reach them. And if you felt your heart open, subscribe. Stay connected to the transmissions. Stay connected to the frequency. You are not just watching, you are remembering. This is your sacred space. Your Pleiadian family is here. And we are just getting started.